This is the Flavor of Leadership podcast. I am your host, Clint Hoops. Together, we explore the unique blend of leadership wisdom that helps top leaders consistently achieve work goals, develop personally, and find fulfillment with family. Let's get started. This is episode number 46. Today, as I was driving down the road with my family, we were heading down the road, and my wife made a comment about how interesting it is that there are blind spots when we're driving. Just how interesting it is that there can be these windows all around the vehicle, and you can be driving down the road feeling perfectly comfortable, perfectly in control, only to look to the side, not see anything, begin to, put on your blinker and decide to change lanes, only to find a vehicle right there. Often a large vehicle right there in your blind spot. And all of a sudden, it goes from not being able to see it to seeing it in an instant. And it's just an amazing thing. It's a dangerous thing, obviously. And so I drive quite often for work. And so I'm in the vehicle a lot. And I've been grateful on more than one occasion that I have those little blind spot blinkers on my mirrors these days. I didn't used to have those. Been so grateful for those in my newer vehicle. And it's amazing how much they help. You look over, think everything's clear, only to find out that your little light's blinking, and then it helps you, give you that more information that you need to be able to make a good decision. Same thing with those backup cameras. Oh my goodness, I haven't had a backup camera that long, but man, it's funny how now if I get into a vehicle that doesn't have one, I start thinking, holy cow, what am I doing? I'm flying blind here, by not having that backup camera. It makes me want to get out of the car and actually walk around a couple of times, make sure I'm not going to hit anything when I'm backing up, which might be a good practice anyway. I don't know. But the backup camera, just once again, same thing, gives you all of the information you could need. I see some of these people, I've gotten to, some of these newer cars, and they have that 360 degree view. You can see everything on all sides of the car. They show a little video and it can show you the cars next to you and the lines and everything. And it's amazing how much information can be available to us to help us make better decisions in our cars and help keep us safe. As I was thinking about blind spots and how we get rid of them, obviously it started making me think about other things in my life. Maybe start thinking about my career and work and my time as a leader. And I can think of a few different times in my career when I had my leaders that were helping to lead me, who honestly cared enough about me to share with me when they thought that I had blind spots, when they thought, you know what, Clint, he doesn't see this, but everyone else around him does. And he's blind to this. And I care enough about him to share this with him. And I'm so grateful for those leaders, because that's not an easy thing to do as a leader, to go to someone who thinks they're just fine, someone who honestly maybe is a high achiever, someone who wants to work hard, wants to do great, and have to tell them something like this. It's hard. It hurts as a leader. But I remember when these people came to me and they helped me. And sometimes it was something small. It was something as small as just something they would help me see to help me improve my communication with somebody, help me be able to communicate more clearly with everybody, which in turn would help me lead a little bit better, even if it's just a small way. Other times, especially earlier in my career, I've had loving leaders that have helped me see more major issues. I can think of one in particular that was a more major issue that seemed small and insignificant to me. It felt more like my style or something like that, only for me to realize later that it wasn't. It was actually something that was impeding my ability to lead my team, or for them to even trust me really well. And I didn't see it. I could not see it clearly, which was just crazy, because I was one who, and I still am, I try really hard to do the best for my people and for my team. And so honestly, when this leader who loved me came up to me and helped me see this issue, it almost made me feel foolish. It felt like I was driving in a car, and the same thing. I'm looking over to the side, ready to make a move, think I can see everything, only to find out there's a huge old semi right there in my blind spot. That would have became a major problem if I didn't see it. So I had this leader that helped me be able to see this. And like I said, I felt a little bit foolish for not being able to see it myself. And I'm so grateful to this leader, because this leader helped me understand that it's not foolishness. You didn't see it. You didn't know. It was in your blind spot. So what would have been foolish, though, is if you ignored it once you knew it was there. Now that's when foolishness sets in, right? When you know it's there and you ignore it and pretend it's not there. So I was so grateful that he brought this to my attention and helped me to just move forward in this area that was important to improve in my leadership. It was amazing, though. It was just in the way I communicated with people is really what it was. Nothing too crazy, but it had a huge impact on the way my team perceived me and the way my team trusted me. And my team began to gradually respond to my efforts to improve. They had no idea that my leader had come to me and actually helped me to see this flaw or this blind spot. They didn't know about that. But they did see my efforts to improve in that area, and they responded. And I got the trust. I got more of the respect that I needed, because they saw I was trying hard to improve, and they began to trust my leadership again. I felt after that happened as well, I felt like I was also a little bit better at being able to see things more clearly for myself. It's almost like eliminating that blind spot helped me in other areas of my leadership and not just that one area. And so I felt like that really helped. And so it's not just at work as well or in leadership that we have blind spots. We have blind spots in all parts of our lives. And I'm sure you've seen that in your own life. No matter what it is, we have blind spots. You know, one place for my life that I found some blind spots recently is in mountain biking. So I love to mountain bike. It's a ton of fun and it's great exercise, and I truly enjoy it. But I am definitely not the best at mountain biking, but it sure is a ton of fun. And I know I have many blind spots. And so I've asked for help from friends, and recently I asked for help from my brother. We were wanting to go riding, and I said, look, I need some help. I got to figure this out. So I reached out to him and said, help me figure out where I'm messing up, because I can't see it. I don't know what I'm doing here. And so that's specifically in the world of jumping. Jumping, once again, on a mountain bike, jumping and drops. I mean, those are things you do all the time on a mountain bike. And so, you can think of like jumping on like the X Games or, big professional mountain bikers. I mean, they're doing real jumps. They're flying through the air, doing tricks, doing all kinds of crazy things. I don't need to do that, right? Who knows? Maybe someday I'll get there, but I'm not holding my breath at this point. But I do want to get better to where I don't look uptight, or I don't even know what another word to say it, just not smooth, right? I want to look smooth. I don't need to be the best, but man, I just want to look a little more smooth. So that's why I was asking my brother for some help on that. So we took our boys out this last week and to a bike park locally here, and it has a bunch of jumps and drops and some different wood features and dirt that you can work on. So different than our normal mountain bike trails that we would go on. It's more to practice, right? And so, man, at this bike park, it's pretty fun though. There are amazing riders of all ages. I mean, it's crazy. You'll have like these little kids, they're 6, 8 years old, 10 years old, and they are just killing it. I mean, they're going off of these jumps, doing tricks, and they look so smooth. All the way up to where you have some people that are quite a bit older than me that are going off of the jumps, once again, doing tricks, looking super smooth. You can tell they spend a lot of time working on this. And I couldn't believe some of the tricks some of these people were doing. I mean, I have ridden bikes for years, ridden mountain bikes for a number of years, but definitely need some improvement in the style department, right? And so I was going off of jumps like I usually do. I go off safely. It's no big deal. But man, I just don't typically feel very smooth, and I didn't this time either. So my brother was trying to give me a few tips to help, and It helped only a little bit, it helped me, on a couple of things. So finally he decided to video me. He got the cell phone out the side, put it on video, put it on slow-mo, and it was on the side of the jump. And I would go off, do a jump, come around and watch the video. And I began to see, oh gosh, okay. I thought I just wasn't smooth before. I look pretty terrible sometimes. And so I was able to tweak a few things, change a few things, went off again. The video was getting a little better. Before I knew it, not only was I able to use the video to see things that I was doing wrong, but also when I was doing it right. It was really good. And I'm telling you, when you improve on things, it sure makes it a lot more fun. It sure does. And so the same holds true in our lives as leaders or in any other parts of our lives. It's a lot more fun when we're improving and getting better at leading our teams. When we're improving right along with them, it just makes things more fun. And if you're having more fun, you're going to be more effective as a leader when you enjoy it. And so one of the things that you might not have as a leader, you might not have someone either above. You might be a business owner. You might be the leader of a company, not have someone that's there willing to offer up the help, to help you find your blind spots. So you may have to get a little more creative. You may have to look at other people close to you, people that you can trust, and have them help you identify them. People are going to be hesitant to offer that unless you're very clear what you want to see. And don't ask for this opinion unless you actually care, unless you actually want to see it, right? You might not be able to videotape your performance as a leader, like I was able to do on a mountain bike or in other sports that I've used that with in the past. But role-playing with someone that you trust to help improve and maybe your communication, or perhaps talking through situations that you've had or a conversation that you're going to have, doing a role play like that can help a lot in helping you see your blind spots and see maybe where you're communicating in a way that isn't as clear as you think, or perhaps having the wrong type of conversation with someone, not reading the room or reading the person in the right way. And you find out, wow, maybe you're not as good at that as you thought. Maybe you need a little more help and a little more planning going into some of these critical conversations. So finding the blind spots is the only way that we can begin to improve. So this week, this is the challenge. Seek to find a blind spot in yourself. Whether you just pay a little closer attention or if you have someone that you can trust, that you can ask for honest feedback, do that. Seek to find something big or small, doesn't matter, but something where you can begin to improve. Just knowing what is in our blind spots will help us get much of the way to the improvement that we are seeking, just by knowing what's there and recognizing it. You got this. I know it. Until next week. Thanks for joining me on this week's episode of the Flavor of Leadership podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast player. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback for us, you can reach me directly at flavorofleadership.com. Thanks for listening.